Hello, everybody. I'm on time.
Yes, you are.
Shocking. It is so shocking. All right. So I am joined by my co-host, Julian, Bearded Thrift, as well as SonnyLasVegas, who has been on a few times. And we have Amy Yoso Boho, which she has not been on before. So I am going to go ahead and let Amy and Sonny introduce themselves, and then we will get to the questions, which there are already a lot here. I want to highlight this real quick before their intros. John over at More Income. Who did that? Sonny, was that you?
Yeah, John.
I do it every time on Whatnot. John over at More Income has been giving away memberships to you guys. So he says he's stretching the challenge. He wants 125 likes within 20 minutes, and he'll give away 5 memberships to random people in the chat. So More Income over on Instagram as well as here on YouTube. Follow him. I'm going to let Sonny and Amy introduce themselves, and then we'll get the questions. Here is Sonny.
Hello, everybody. I'm SonnyLasVegas, currently here in Las Vegas for as long as that I know. A full-time reseller, content creator, and stepping into a boutique with Mikey Bags of Money. There's a lot going on in my life as well as other people in the community, and I'm just glad and happy to be a part of what's growing, not only for me, but for others. So that's what I try to do in my videos, is to share a good time, share a good laugh, but also take something from it that could benefit you. And a lot of stuff I learned from others as well as through my own experiences.
Perfect. Here is Miss Amy.
Hey, everybody. My name is Amy. My channel is Yoso Boho Rescued Treasures. I do everything from Goodwill, a lot of Goodwill shopping and thrift alongs, to booth information. I share all my information, so that's a lot of the feedback I get, is that people like to watch because I teach as I learn, because I know nothing. I have 3 booths. I've been on YouTube for over 2 years, I think now, and I'm just kind of learning the community, and I'm super happy to be here. So thank you, Kat, for inviting me.
You are welcome. All right, guys. So Miss Kathy was first in the chat tonight. She said she's new to reselling, and she actually has the first question. So Miss Kathy wants to know, can I list the item at the same time on eBay and Poshmark?
Can you list an item at the same time on eBay and Poshmark?
And I don't know if you mean like at once. Do you think at once?
Yeah, kind of, sort of. It's at once, simultaneously working through the process. But I do on what I do using List Perfectly, where I'm able to put it on several platforms other than just those 2, which actually eBay is my go-to. It's my moneymaker. And Poshmark would probably be my second one, but it's far from my golden egg of eBay.
I only list on eBay, so I will pass that to Julian.
Yeah, like at the exact same time, I don't know, because I don't put my stuff into List Perfectly. I like put it in eBay, and then I would go cross-post it to Poshmark. So, but like if you're saying, hey, I had this item, can they both be on like different platforms? Then yes, then that the answer would be yes. But like at the exact same time, I don't know if List Perfectly does the exact same time. Does it, Kat? Like we're talking like the exact same.
It opens new tabs if you like make the listing and List Perfectly. But if you're brand new to reselling, I would just do one platform. I wouldn't try and start on 2 platforms at the same time. I would try and master one before trying to go to both at the same time. And if you have a low threshold on eBay, like you can only list 10, I would list the 10 on eBay, and then I would start listing on Poshmark when you ran out of eBay listings. But I don't know that I would be so brave as to try both of them at once. I would get a handle on one of them a little bit before you start cross-posting, is what I would recommend if you're brand new to it. All right. Miss Belinda says, I purchased at an online auction a lot of vintage Gone with the Wind Christmas ornaments, magazines, books, and a DVD movie set. Would you resell them in a lot or individually?
Some things I haven't done this yet, but some things I'm opening up to, say, wholesale, if I'm wanting to sort a bundle of items to where I kind of save time and not have to break down every little thing per item to say like on eBay, I would consider a site like Wholesale, who I just spoke with last week, and they seem to be doing very well, especially just making it easier to list so much in less time without every little detail being put in if you want the easy way. But it would depend, and I'm pretty sure Amy's going to answer this on her part, so I'll leave the rest of the information with her to provide to you all. Fine folks.
I bought a big lot from an estate of Wizard of Oz, similar situation. I broke it down by items. So if there were like collector's plate sets and there was a full set, I would sell that together. If it was dolls, I would sell those together. I know probably you're going to get more money if you sell it that way than trying to just a big lot, or, you know, like Sonny said, a lot of work to do it one at a time. So make it easy.
Mine would come down to like exactly how much the item cost if I'm going to sell it like by itself. So basically, I have a threshold. I think a lot of us have a threshold. Mine's like $9, $10 by itself plus shipping. So if you have DVDs and like a book only costs like it only sells for like $1, I'm going to lot that one up. If it goes for like $10, then I'm probably going to sell that separately and lot up the smaller items together. I'm most likely going to make my money on one of the big items, get my money back. Hopefully that's how I usually do auctions. And then everything I usually I'm with tools, especially, is I put everything in a lot, put it on auction for super cheap, and would, let it ride from there. But mine's going to be the actual price of that item.
Yeah, and I agree with Julian because I want to get the most money out of it. So if you bought it to resell to make the most profit you can, I list almost all my ornaments individually. Almost all of them will sell for $10 or more by themselves. I had a Gone with the Wind that went for $30. So I would think the ornaments I would probably do individually. Holy
you saw the same time I saw that.
$100 super chat. Scott interrupted me. So I know, right? So I would probably do the ornaments separately. I would do the magazines together in a lot because those probably aren't going to be valuable. And then I would do the books together in DVDs. But you could do like Sonny said, where if like most of the money's in the ornaments, do the ornaments individually on eBay, and then you could sell the magazine, books, and DVD sets over on Wholesale. Wholesale is great if you want to re-wholesale it. So you're not going to get that full retail price, but you will get some profit with a lot less work. So it all comes down to how much work. Do you want to work more and make more money, or work less and, kind of flip it faster? All right, throw it up there, Julian.
Are you ready?
I am. Scott messaged me this morning. And Scott, I really appreciate your $100 super chat. That is amazing. So it has been exactly 1 year ago today that I asked the chat to help Scott get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, and he hit it. And he said he's forever grateful. And since then, Scott actually came to one of my in-person camps and spoke at it with me and stayed in the house with us. So we've met. I'm getting chills, Scott. So Scott and I have met in person in that year. And Scott is an amazing guy, an amazing teacher, and he's hit a lot of milestones since then. So if you don't follow, I'm going to ask you again, if you don't follow Scott Cha-Ching King, Scott, I almost had the shirt on, but I wore my nurse flipper one instead. Scott is an absolutely amazing teacher. He was a school principal for a long time, so teaching is in his blood. If you don't follow him, go check him out. Scott, thank you so much. I am, I'm more than happy to help everybody hit the milestones. We have done it for a lot of people on the show. It's so fun to help people hit 1,000 subscribers live. It is just great. And we've done it a lot. So Scott, thank you so much. Scott has to have a dolphin. And then I see 2 more super chats that came in right behind him. Scott, thank you. Congrats. Scott's grown a lot. In the past year. And I'm glad we got to meet in person and spend some time together. So here is your dolphin. Super chat. I went old school, not even on purpose on that one.
Yeah.
I like the old school one.
Was that the one from the year ago? That would have been the same one.
It would have been the same one, yeah. Miss Linda sent $5 as well. I'm gonna flip to Gino's. Dolphin. Here you go, Miss Linda. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Picking and punching. So I met him at the Prison to Profit convention, and he will be coming up on the show as well. I invited him to come on the show. We met in person at the Prison to Profit convention. He sent a $5 super chat and said, what is a category or items you don't currently normally sell but would like to get into selling in the future?
For me, it would be jewelry, costume jewelry. I'm realizing, especially today, setting up in the Good Stuff thrift store that Danny, the niche lady, put together and asked Mikey Bags of Money and myself if we wanted to be part of it. And I don't usually get into jewelry, but I came across a bundle this past weekend, and the lady pretty much gave me the jewelry for free, and they looked really nice. So I ended up asking Tiffany, Thrifting Vegas, since she was there and Danny had stepped out. And the prices that she gave me for these items, I was like, I need to look into more jewelry. They're super lightweight. Most of the time, they're small. And what I thought might be $10, they were saying multiply it times 3. And I'm like, holy molies. And this is inside like a thrift boutique type store. And I was thinking because of that, it would be a lesser price compared to, say, something online like eBay. So that excites me a lot. And it also makes me think about storage units, something that I haven't been into, and that might be like an additional part to this question is storage units from this experience today with the 2 little pieces of jewelry.
Yeah, I have to echo Sonny. I would love to be selling jewelry. It's small, it's light, it's easy to ship. I have been watching a lot of Whatnot sales, including a couple of cats. I absolutely think that that's brilliant to be doing that, and I would love to do it more. I actually bought some of the big Goodwill boxes before they turned into the blue boxes or whatever they're doing now. When I first set up my website, which was almost 3 years ago, I bought 2 big boxes and I had a ton of fun going through it. I probably gave people like amazing deals on jewelry because I knew nothing. I still know nothing, but it was super fun to go through, and it was really easy and fun to like capture the pictures and post them. So yeah, I would like to get back into doing more with jewelry for sure.
Mine would be probably there's 2. One would be books. I just things that I go around and see a lot of is books, right? And I know that some books sell for a ton of money. That's the only ones that I want to pick up, by the way, is going to be the ones that are worth a lot of money. Just have like a really good understanding of which one is good and which one isn't. And also like precious metals. Like we actually have a gold tester now and a diamond tester because we came across some gold and I thought it was fake, and it's actually stamped like on the inside. My eyes must be going bad or something. Kayla immediately was like, this says 14 karat on the inside of this stuff. I was like, no way. And and then the next yard sale we went to, we ended up finding 3 more solid rings that are gold, and they have huge diamonds. The diamond tester says they're they're actually diamonds. So we're going to see. And I would just like to be able to identify like actual gold faster because I think that's cool. And books totally do different things there.
So everybody's doing, I'm already doing jewelry. I'm doing a lot of jewelry. So I'm selling 200 to 300 pieces of jewelry a week on Whatnot. So I have like pounds and pounds of jewelry, and it is really fun to go through, and you can find a lot of really good things. The only thing, I sell everything. I think everybody knows that. But the only thing that I've kind of gotten away from is the electronics. And I keep seeing Tim Osborne to Thrift posting his $600-700 sales. And I'm like, I should look at this stuff more. So maybe some older electronic stuff like that. That would be really the only thing, because I sell everything already. So I'm looking forward to having you on the show coming up soon. Let me give you your dolphin. Thank you so much. Dun, 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 dun. And I saw we had another one.
We do. There it is.
Mary.
365 Vintage Hunter, $20 super chat. You guys are showing some love tonight. I really, Really appreciate it. Said, I love coming to these lives. The more I come here, the more I learn to expand my YouTube and my reselling. Your info is priceless. Thank you so much. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. I was talking on Whatnot earlier. I think I'm coming up close to 3 years that I have done this show every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I missed one Tuesday. I've missed one Tuesday. That is it. I push through the rest of them, no matter where I'm at. So in 2 weeks, I will be coming live from the top of a mountain in a beautiful cabin. I've went live from Myrtle Beach, where Julian lives. I've went live from Pennsylvania. I have went live all over the country. So I am here every Tuesday. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Here is your dolphin. Another one. You guys are going to make me fall out of my chair tonight.
We're going to start asking for a cut.
It's Amy at City Traders. And Wholesale just joined my membership. We haven't gotten to play the membership dolphin in a long time. Emma and Kat. Okay, we get to tonight. If you hate the dolphin, tonight is not your night. I apologize. I'm going to go back to the old school one for Amy. Here's the old school dolphin. Super chat. I think people hate that one more than Gino's. I think they like the island vibe dancing. Wholesale, Emma and Kat. I'm thinking it's probably Emma. That's my thought. Let us know in the chat, but I appreciate that. Here is a dolphin. So Sonny was just talking about, I sell my thrift boxes from Kat's Treasure Hunting channel on Wholesale. So I've used them to sell. I haven't bought stuff because I'm really only buying jewelry. But good place to bulk buy and sell. I haven't got to play the member dolphin in a while. Here you go. Welcome to the flipping family. You guys. I feel like it's when I just hit monetization with all of these super chats. This has not happened in a very, very long time. 365 vintage hunter. Okay, one more member dolphin. One more member dolphin. Thank you. Like I said, this has not happened in a while. Scott, you gave me good luck kicking me off with $100 there. Amazing. Here is your dolphin. Welcome to the flipping family. Oh my gracious.
You're making me work tonight at the bottom of the chat here. I like it.
Oh, and then Mark's coming in too. Okay. If you hate the dolphin, I'm sorry. Linda says, I keep losing $3 to $5 on shipping, mostly because I'm just estimating what box size I will use. And because I'm not buying labels from eBay or Etsy. How to get better at this?
Not buying labels on eBay or Etsy. So are you going in person to the post office? So this is a follow-up question. Hopefully we could find it in the chat. Or are you doing it, say, through pirate ship? I would recommend if you're, say, selling on eBay, do it through eBay to get the seller's discount, especially if you have a store that you're paying for. I've been doing this for a while, so I have a pretty good guesstimation of what, say, first classes and items may fit inside a padded flat rate box, or even jeans I know that could fit inside, if they're over £1, inside a padded flat rate envelope. So for me, I know this, but to break this down in this question, I would start looking at the measurements, make sure you scale it, see if it fits. And probably a few months into it, it's not a hard thing either. A few months is not hard. It goes by very fast. You're going to be more familiar to where when you go thrifting or sourcing for items, you're going to have a really good sense of having almost 100% accuracy on shipping costs. Although it may 1 out of 100, when you're really familiar, you might be off. But for every time to lose $3 to $5, you need to take the time to really weigh and measure stuff and make sure you're not trying to downsize your items to, say, the nearest inch if it's over, say, a centimeter, because that gets a lot of people. And I used to work for the post office, so I say this with actual sincerity that some people in the post office especially USPS, when they're going through the conveyors, they just mark stuff and they're going to upcharge you when some people that work there say, you know what, they might be new. This is not a big thing. It's not a problem. But some people go the extra mile to just make it harder. But it's on you to make sure to not lose that $3 to $5. That's a lot of money when you add that up, even 5 orders that go out that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember at the very beginning, I measured everything. I added 2 inches on each side as if I was thinking like visually it's going in the box. I tried to shop smarter, source smarter as I went along, and really think about that cubic foot. And yeah, I always go through eBay with my shipping. So I have, like Sonny said, screwed up a couple of times, but it becomes rarer and rarer. Like you get a sense of it and it becomes kind of second nature.
Yeah, I would 100% start buying my stuff online. Like the labels, I would strongly recommend buying it off of eBay, pirate ship, something like if you go to the post office, you're not getting the deal that you're going to get on eBay. So I strongly recommend that. If you're that far off, and I don't ever recommend this, this is the first time ever, I would prepackage some stuff. I would start to figure out how to prepackage it and then get that down to, okay, this, hat is always going to go in an 8.6 by 4 or 10.6 by 4 or something like that. And then you're really start to understand like what boxes things are going to fit in. But I would take the time if I'm losing every time that I'm going to get prepackaged, I'm going to know the weight, I'm going to know the size. And then after doing that repetition, 30, 40, 50, 100 times, whatever it takes, you're then going to realize, okay, you're going to look at an item and immediately know that fits in a number 7, that fits in a batted flat, right? That, and you'll actually get that good at it. And then the weight, you'll start to realize that too, but that's pretty easy on the scale. But the size, that's what my advice would be, was definitely buy it offline, your label, and then start prepackaging stuff.
Yeah, so $3 to $5 doesn't sound like a size thing to me, because if you go from regular size into oversize, it's going to be more than $3 to $5. Mm. So I'm thinking that your weight is probably off, because the only time the box size matters is if it's over 12 by 12 by 12, or if it has a long dimension. So I'm thinking you're probably messing up on weight, not box size, unless you're sending these huge boxes. But if that was the case, you would be off by $10, $15, $20, not $3 to $5. So I'm thinking it's weight, because I put 6 by 6 by 6 on every listing, no matter what box I use, as long as I know it's going to go in under a 12 by 12. But you're losing 20 to 30% by not purchasing the labels online if you're not going to pirate ship. So you're losing a lot. That would, like, so if it was a $10 label, you would get like $2 off. So you'd be losing $1 instead of $3 to $5. I hardly ever weigh items anymore, I guess. And like yesterday, I had an international, I was off by a pound and it cost me $12. Luckily, I had $40 in profit, so it didn't hurt that bad. But I still have them. I still have some, because I do just guess, because I've been doing it so long. I would say I'm off probably 10 to 15% of the time, but you get a little bit extra in padding when you print the eBay labels. Even if you don't have a store, you still get a discount on your labels. So I would start printing the labels for sure. And eBay has the QR code too. You can just scan the QR code, and most post offices will print the labels for you. So you can still get them done at the post office. So that is what I would do. Hopefully that helps. And like Julian said, if it is, I feel like it's not the size, because $3 to $5 doesn't sound like a size thing to me. But you could do the I tell people, set the box, set the packing material, set the item, weigh it. And as long as it's under 12 by 12, it's not the box. It's not the box. All right.
Can I add to that? Because
even professional skill. So she said, sorry, Sonny. She said she's thinking it's because she doesn't buy labels online. But eBay should charge them the retail rate. So it should be exactly what you are doing. I will tell you, I had a scale that was wrong. And it was a professional one. And I kept getting charges from eBay because my weights were off and I was printing my labels. I bought a new scale and the problem went away. So just because it's professional doesn't mean it's right. Sorry, Sonny.
No apologies needed. What I will say, if you've already had several orders and say you're not going to do this on eBay, but use pirate ship, because I do this every now and then with large items, and you can do this for small items as well. Since you already have these addresses to where your previous orders have gone to, check the furthest place within the US and see what that's going to come out to, and something that's like your nearest state to you, and try to get a price range that you see, like if it's okay to go say under 50 cents or have to take out of the profit rather than the $3 or $5. I kind of look at things that way, even with larger items recently, and it helps price things. And if anything, you're just going to end up paying less than what you're charging, and it's okay because you paid for the shipping supplies anyways.
Yeah, for sure. All right, here is your dolphin before I forget. All right, what say Mark? Scott seems to have the super chats under control. He said he'll be on in a few minutes. He texted me and I just saw it and said he had baseball tonight. And I'm like, but how are you sending a super chat? So I guess maybe he sent a super chat and then ran away to baseball. So I don't know if you're here, Mark. Here is your dolphin. Dun, dun, dun. He even left my dolphin sound. My dolphin sound is still there. So Mark, OG&Z, and Richard Otnip Drop Flips, Red Cardinal Treasures, and More Income have been helping in the chat a lot. You guys will see they have mods. A lot of them have channels. Mark, OG&Z, I don't think has made his first video, even though he told me he was going to like a year ago. He is on Instagram, though. I will be seeing Mark. Mark will be with me at Renninger's, so you can meet Mark as well. Mark will be with me walking around. I don't know what day Mark is coming, but one of the 3 days Mark will be with me. All right. I think just one of us can answer this one. Sonny, you want to take it? What's the best way to mail bed mattress covers?
Not comforters, just cover sheets, right?
Just like a mattress cover it would be like a sheet.
You know what? I'll let you take this, Kat.
You want me to take it? I would do it in a poly bag. You could do it in a I have 14 by 19 inch poly bags that I do a lot of like my throw blankets and tapestries in. That would be a good size for that. I try not to do unless it's an expensive mattress cover or it's a foam. If it's a foam one, you're going to have to squish it in a box. If it's a cloth one, I would put it in a poly bag unless it's over $50. If it's over $50 mattress cover, I'd put it in a box. But make sure you get thicker poly bags. Some of the big poly bags I got are so thin, I have to double poly things because they like tear so easy. I don't want it to tear en route to the customer. Chance wants to know, what do you think of the Whatnot sellers' methods that allow the buyers to control what items go up for auction? So she's saying allowing the buyers to choose what is running. I feel like they're wasting so much of their time and buyers lose interest.
I'm 50-50 agree with that comment, that it does discourage, say, the other customers that are waiting for things to come up and being respectful. But when you have somebody, say, that already has an item that they're interested in, I wouldn't just start off with, say, $1. If somebody's asking me to pull an item from my Whatnot order or inventory, I would say, okay, if I do that, I'm going to start it off at this price. Unless there's already people on Whatnot with, say, a particular item that has pre-bid already, say at $10, the money's already there. And if there's more than 2 people, that's another thing I would ask on Whatnot, because one is not going to get you any more money than what's already on there or your bottom dollar. But say if there's anybody else and you ask them, that's a good way of communicating. Is there anybody else interested in this? If there's 2 people, I'll put it up. If not, we'll wait a second and continue going on. Either way, somebody's going to have to wait, and you just follow your gut. Don't chase the dollar that isn't there when you could get more if 2 or more people are interested in that one item.
I mean, I don't know if it's the same. I like the choice auctions where they do have a few things up at one time. If it's not showing though, I've noticed if I jump around on Whatnot and I run into a seller who's doing something similar to what this sounds like, it's confusing because I just got there. So I'm not sure what they're selling, and I'll jump out. So I'm sure that that might be a problem for some sellers if they're doing something like that, where people are always constantly kind of flipping around and finding the cool stuff. So if you jump in and you don't know what's going on, you're probably going to lose that audience.
Yeah, I'm actually going to agree with that because I'm not a seller and Whatnot yet, so I have no idea what the seller portion is going to look at that. I might be a seller and have a totally different opinion here, but I do hop around on Whatnot a lot, and when I do get one that's like, "Hey, oh yeah, I have baseball cards, or I have this and this," and then they like leave for a second, I usually leave when they leave. Like if they're like, "Hey, I have this, but I got to go somewhere," well, I'm out. I'm very impatient human, I guess. I'm not going to sit there for 10 seconds. Or 5 seconds or 1 second. I'm just not. But the people that like, have stuff and they're constantly bringing things in, that brings my attention more. And, so I don't really know 100%, but that's just my opinion. I'm not a seller. I'm more of a watcher. So, when they do that, I actually probably 100% of the time leave that Whatnot auction.
Yeah, so I think it's kind of a hard question. And if you know me, I am OCD. I go in order, which probably frustrates some buyers because they are used to sellers. Like if they request something they see in the catalog, the seller will run it right away. And I'm like, it's numbered, I'm going in order. Because that's the way I ship and I have it really organized. I spend hours cataloging it, and that's just how I do it. But on the flip side, I also get, 70 to 100 people in my Whatnot auction. So I almost always have somebody interested in every single thing I'm pulling. But if it was a new seller, I could see, like, if you only have 5 or 10 people, I could see where that might work better, where you could show them and be like, what do you guys want to buy? Because if you've only got 5 or 10 people, you could be showing stuff and it doesn't sell, showing stuff and it doesn't sell, where you would be better to do a sweep and say, what do you want? One of Restate Vintage is another jewelry seller, and I kind of like how they do it, and they do it organized. So they put up pictures of their trays of jewelry, and it'll say like, this tray starts at $9. This tray starts at $19. And you can tell them like, row this, number this. They'll even have little number stickers. I want this. And so they pull them in the order of request, and they have a tray and they line them up. So you can go look through the catalog at hundreds of items and tell them what. I don't have my rings on, but that's where I bought my ring. And I told them I did have to wait about 20, 25 minutes because other people requested before me. But so they're offering 500 items and they're only selling ones people ask about. Now, I was the only bidder, like Sonny was saying. So nobody else wanted the ring that I wanted, but they don't start them cheap. My ring started at $69, which was a fair price for the ring. So, it's kind of a toss up. Like they let you know this tray starts at $69. This tray starts at $9. And when you ask them to run it, you know what the minimum you're going to pay. And that's the minimum they're happy with. So that is kind of an organized, but people get to choose, and there's no dead time. I get really bored when there's dead time and they're like, do you want this? I have some of these. And I've seen it where the chat is saying, yes, I want that. And the seller keeps showing more stuff. If you got people saying, yes, I'm interested in, put it up and run it. I don't like the dead space. That was a long answer. We have another member.
We had a super chat before.
Beachwalker. Beachwalker buys lots of jewelry from me. And it's funny because I know what she wants. She likes the beachy stuff like I like. So I'm like, Beachwalker's going to want this. And she does. Thanks for all the great info you share. I now have my first box A. She's got a custom SKU inventory system going on. And I put an item in it yesterday without packaging it first. We are making progress. That is awesome. Super glad to hear that. And thanks again for buying all my beach jewelry that I love. And then I don't have to keep it and wear it. Here's your dolphin. Dun, 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 dun.
I'm trying to.
All the
It
Dolphins
reminds me of
tonight.
slot machines here in Vegas. It's giving me the itch to go play some penny slots.
Well, maybe tonight's your night.
Maybe it is.
It's early in Vegas, Sonny.
5:35.
I know it's early. All right. Sapphire became a member. So we have now's a good time to join the membership. Just FYI, I had to postpone the store reviews or listing reviews. Doesn't matter if you have a store or not, to this Thursday, because last Thursday there was a hurricane and I was worried the internet wouldn't hold up. So if you join membership now, $1.99 and higher, or if John gives you a membership because he's so wonderful, live eBay member store reviews on Thursday. It's one-on-one with me. I review your listings, kind of give you some tips and tricks on what will give you some more sales. Like if it's pictures, descriptions, prices, shipping, I look and see what could help you get your sales up. So that is this Thursday. If you're a member, go look in the community feed and put your information in there because it is posted for you to sign up for that now. I posted it yesterday early. So here is your Dolphin Sapphire.
Welcome to the flipping family.
Okay, let me scroll back up. My thing jumped to the bottom. That was like a crazy super chat, and I appreciate every one of you so much. Seriously, haven't had that many since I think I got monetized, which was forever ago, it feels like. It's been a while. It's been a little while. Hold on, I'm scrolling and scrolling. Julian clicks on them, and most of the time it doesn't scroll me down, but tonight it apparently did. Oh, I'm going to try something. I forgot. And I'll tell Julian when he comes back. Oh my gracious, I'm still scrolling. Who was it? Oh, Derek, Fundamentals. When I was on his show, I can star the questions. So I can go ahead and star the questions and it'll give me them in a separate list. I didn't even know I could do that. So
didn't we just find out about this a few days ago? I think
Derek did it while I was live with him. And I was like, what?
Your reaction or my reaction? I was like, what? Tell me more.
Yes. So when I star them, now look, I can go through. Julian, if you see questions, you can star them and then look, see the starred list, and then it keeps all the questions in one place. Do you see it now?
I do see it.
How amazing is that? So if you see questions at the bottom, you can star them and put them in.
Oh, I'm about to start everybody's question.
Star all of the questions.
Because everybody's a star in the chat.
Everybody's a star.
Everybody.
All right. Deborah wants to know, on our opinion, what is the best platform to sell Harley Davidson Department 56 Christmas items?
What is the best platform? I'm going to go with eBay because that's what I'm familiar with. But I have a feeling somebody might say Etsy. Just saying.
I'm with eBay too.
Yeah, I sell a lot of Department 56 stuff, and usually Harley Davidson one, that is a perfect item for me on eBay. That thing's going to be, and it depends which one you have. Make sure you research it. Obviously, just write that little code in because a couple of those, two in particular, are super, super expensive. And now, perfect time to put one of those bad boys on bid because everybody's looking for them. They sell very fast right now.
Yeah, I'm going to echo that and say eBay. eBay is my first platform for absolutely everything. I actually, if you watch my catch treasure hunting, I got a bunch of Harley shirts last weekend, and the people called me back, and I am buying everything Harley from that yard sale. I will pick it up either Sunday or Tuesday. Harley parts, leather jackets, jeans. So they called me at the end of it. We made a deal, and I'm going to go back and buy all of the Harley stuff. So I would say eBay as well. And Julian has a good point. If it's a rare one, now is the time to auction it. You will get more money. You will get more money for it. I see another super chat. My favorite finds. Whatnot seems to be geared towards less expensive things from what I've watched so far. Is that true? It seems to top out at $10 to $15.
Not true, I'm going to say. There is truth to that, but not true because I am curious to learn about other things that are more higher value and things that I'm not familiar with. And I see some hats that people have quite a bit of these hats sell for like $150, $200, $300, and people are lining up in the chat to buy these from these, I guess, wholesalers, because they have these hats time and time again, especially games. So I would say it's more of what you're selling or what you're looking at that are going to fall between those prices. But there has been some items, quite a few of them on Whatnot through my own experience, that I thought they're going to be more of $5. And the items that were going to be more around 30 to 40, it was reversed. I was getting less for what I thought I was going to get for the higher ones and more for the items that I really wasn't giving it any thought to, even with the comps that were found online. So it's just funny. You never know what people are going to bid on and be interested in.
Yeah, I agree. I also am not on Whatnot yet. I signed up and was approved way long time ago, but have been just watching and weary because I'm definitely in that estate sale category with all of the stuff I sell. So if I do a sale, I'm probably going to do something like jewelry because the audience is bigger for it. I've seen a lot of the vintage sellers. I think they're selling their more expensive things to other collectors that are probably resellers as well, because that's the audience that's building right now. But yeah, I've seen the same thing. I've seen people kind of weary of what they're taking there, so they're bringing less expensive things because they're worried about the risk.
Again, I don't sell on Whatnot, but I do cruise it a lot now. And I did watch one with some Louis Vuitton in it, and it was like straight Louis Vuitton and some other stuff, and it was super, super, super expensive. Like it was, they were starting at $1, but a lot of pre-bids on it or whatever. But it was, they were dumping a ton of money in this stuff. So I wouldn't say, I do watch some that, you know, are lower end ones, $5, $10, $15. And then I watched that one where people were throwing $5 to $1,000 to $2,000. So I really think, again, it really depends on what you're selling. If you got good stuff, it's worth what it's worth and people are going to pay for it. But that's just my opinion. Because again, I don't sell on Whatnot. I just been watching.
So I'll tell you, tonight I had a $12 average. So tonight you would be spot on point for me. But I will also tell you, I agree with Julian and Sonny. It depends on what you're bringing. My J. King auction, when I had designer sterling gemstone pieces, my average was $65. Yeah. $65. Nice. So Sonny's right. Some stuff goes lower than you think. Some stuff goes higher. Started at the lowest, like if you're talking as far as a seller, started at the lowest you're willing to take. I told you I was the only bidder on my ring, but I paid $69 because I knew they put it, they're clear. Like if you aren't paying $69, you're not getting this ring. I think a lot of mine, like I was talking to Brad about it, I'm like, man, that sucks. Like my average sucks tonight, but did I bring lower value items? Probably, because it's hard. I can't find J. King designer necklaces all the time. I wish I could, but I can't. So I've noticed that people will pay most of the time, not all the time. Some stuff goes way lower than I really want it to, but it evens out with some going higher, some going lower. But I would say, like eBay auctions, don't start it at lower than what you're willing to take. And I don't start any at $1 because I don't want to make 20 cents and my boxes cost 50 cents. So I'm paying you 30 cents to take my item. So I start at $2. And I'm okay with that because I might make 50 cents on some pieces. And I had some tonight that sold for $2. So it happens, but don't start it lower. The money's there. The money's there if you have the right things and you find the right buyers. People will pay. Like Julian was saying, I sold a piece for $300 and I told them that's the lowest I'm willing to go. I was $300. They said, okay. And again, it was one bidder. But I knew like 300 is my bottom line and it sold. So yeah, I think I saw another, I think it was Miss Val. It is Miss Val. Do you think, and then I'll give you guys a combined dolphin and spare my dolphin people a little bit. We'll combine a dolphin. Miss Val wants to know, do you think Whatnot will ever combine shipping? So I'm going to just answer this real quick. Whatnot does combine shipping. Unless you mean in different sales, but Whatnot wouldn't know when we're going to pack it. And I pack Whatnot every day. So before I do my show tomorrow night, today's sale's already packed and shipped. but all Whatnot in the same sale is combined. It is all combined. And you get, like with my jewelry, the first piece is like $4.50 or $5 shipping, and then it's 50 cents each additional piece. So you do save on the shipping. So if you look at the bottom on Whatnot, it'll say, like the first one would say $5, and after you bought something, it'll say plus 50 cents instead of the $5. So they do combine it, Miss Bell. All right, here is your combined dolphin. If you want your own dolphin, yell at me in the chat and I'll give you another dolphin. Like, here's your dolphin. Yay! All right, John. We are finally getting to John's question. What is your number one sourcing tip?
Whew. I would say, regardless of what you hear online, even though it's good information, always check the comps. Learn to read the comps, so that way, if you're going to purchase an item, that it's possibly an item that's going to turn around and be a good sell. But on the flip side of that, there's nothing wrong with an item that's is going to take a while to sell, but be worth reselling for, say, like 100 or more.
Exactly. I use sell-through rate. So I know, I mean, I have different platforms that I sell on, but it's online is eBay. So I use eBay to figure out if it's going to sell on eBay and what my profit's going to be there. And then some things that I can't find there because I do run into some unique items. I kind of have to gauge the quality of them, and maybe the research will lead me back to eBay, but that's definitely sell-through rate. Learn that, and you're set.
I would say just always remember you make your money on the buy. So like cheap.
Mm-hmm.
I'm cheap. I will barter at yard sales. I will try to bundle whatever I have to do to get things cheap. That's what I'm going to do, because sometimes you might think, oh, this is really cool. I could, or you just want it for some reason, or it never works out that well for me. So always cheap. That's what my number one thing is. Make sure it's a good item. Don't get me wrong. And again, you have to pay up for some items. I totally understand that, but always remember you're making your money when you buy it. So.
Yes, I agree with all of that. And I am going to kind of tack on to Julian saying bundle. I love to source in lots, because the more you buy, typically the cheaper you can get the items, whether it's at garage sales, online auctions, whatever it is. Typically, if you buy in bulk, you get cheaper per item. And if you're trying to build your inventory, buying lots on online auctions is like an amazing way to build your inventory. Amazing way. Miss Diane says, I had 2 buyers ask to extend the amount of time to pay to 7 to 10 days. One said they would pay over my asking price if I did. I did this last month and they paid, no issues. What are your thoughts?
I think it's okay to wait on some items. I used to be against it at first because some of the information I would get online at the time when I was a new reseller was don't fall for things like that. It's possibly a scam, but you don't get to see what actually plays out if you don't give it a chance. Just like people giving you a chance when you list item and trusting that your description is telling what they're going to receive. So I think it's good that you're opening up, because this potential buyer or this buyer may be a consistent buyer, a repeat buyer. So you get to learn your own things and not just take advice from other people. Test it out your own way. And I'm glad that it worked out. I like that you gave somebody a chance.
Yeah, I agree. I haven't run into that a lot on eBay. I usually, if it's somebody that I'm waiting for, they don't reach out. Usually I'm waiting for them to pay, and I'll remind them, but 3, 4, 5 days, they'll still pay. I haven't run into too much where they just kind of disappear. But I do work with people, like when I do live sales here on YouTube, people who say, I really want that, but I don't get paid for like a week. Mm-hmm. And those people, some of those people are my favorite, and they buy a ton of stuff from me. So I'm fine with it.
I'm just a little suspicious of I would pay over asking costs, because you've already most likely bought the item and it's a waiting. I don't know how you would get that money. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they've already bought it or they put it in their cart and it's a waiting payment, like I don't want any more money, because I don't know how that's going to work on eBay. Like, just pay for it. Does that make sense? Like, I don't know how you're getting me more money if you're already awaiting payment. So, but I've waited, like, as long as you communicate a decent reason, right? Like, if you communicate with me, I've waited 30 days one time for a hammer. This guy really wanted this hammer. And I was like, I always tell a story because and I was like, yeah, man, it was just forever. And he finally paid for it. And he got it. And he wrote me like this best review and everything because he gave me good reasons, right? I'm going to give a guy a chance to buy a hammer. But if you just shoot me like anything suspicious on it, anything at all, I'm most likely just going to go ahead and cancel it for 4 days. But if you give me like a solid reason, I'll probably help you out.
So eBay on mine automatically cancels. I couldn't give them 7 to 10 days. Soon as that 5th day hits, eBay automatically cancels mine. And I thought that was a policy across the board. So maybe I have checked something to like auto cancel that I didn't know.
That's what I did.
I sound like the a-hole in the situation and say it's my business. I want my money. You took my item off the market. I don't know you from Joe. And if you want to pay in 10 days, then buy it in 10 days if it's still available. Like you can't go to Walmart and say, oh, I'm going to take this bottle of water. I'll be back in 10 days. And that bottle of water's off the shelf. And I'll show you guys this because it's right here. I just sold this statue for $680 5 days ago.
Put that in bubble wrap.
I'm using Instapack. $680 for the statue, and that normally I won't message them. I'll just let it fall off, but that's a almost $700 sale. So the second day I'm like, hey, eBay gives you 4 days. It's going to cancel. And then yesterday I'm like, you have 1 more day. Cause that was bought before and not paid for that. And I'm like, is this going to happen again? And today it was weird. They sent him an invoice for the full price of $845. I accepted his $680 offer. And so I just resent the invoice and I took a picture of him and sent it to him and said, hey, I resent the invoice. Please check it. And he paid an hour later. But today was day 4. So it would have canceled tomorrow. But I don't remember clicking into anything. I wonder if some people's automatically cancel and some don't, because mine mine eBay auto cancels, except sometimes the international ones it doesn't. It's really weird. It doesn't 100% of the time. So I'm not as lenient because a lot of people don't pay. Like Sonny's saying, give someone a chance, but like I pay my bills by this. What if somebody else would pay me tomorrow? You know? So I try and really separate it. I have, and like the live sales, I had a lot of trouble with tracking people down, asking them to pay. I have stuff I can look on my desk right now from 2 months ago that was never paid for. So I've had bad experiences with that. That's why I like Whatnot, because I get my payment right away. But Amy's probably doing them more frequent. I was only doing them once a month. So I didn't really know like all the people. If I knew people and I had relationships, like I've taken it down for like members and subscribers that I know. If I know people and have a relationship, I will. If I don't, then most likely I'm not going to. So I'm going to sound like a meanie, but it's business. Val, you can answer and Julian will see it. You don't have to keep sending me super chats. Val, Julian watches the bottom of the chat and I watch the top. You should not be, unless it's really heavy items, Val. If it's heavy items, that might be the only thing. I know with my jewelry, it's like $5 and then 50 cents each additional item. Any of you that are buying from Whatnot auctions, if you can answer that or put your input, because I'm wondering if it's more like the vintage estate category where they're like 2 to 3 pound items. If buyers on Whatnot, I know when I bought jewelry, I only paid 50 cents each additional item. I haven't done a ton of Whatnot buying. So if you're in the chat and you're buying and you're having that same experience, let us know. If you're paying shipping on each individual item, because I've not heard that. Val, that's something I might contact support at whatnot.com, because that should not be the case. It should be combined, unless they're all really heavy items. That's the only reason I could think it would be like, you know, a significant price.
She said it's modern clothes.
That's so great. Contact support, Val. I feel like it's a glitch. I feel like maybe $1, $1.50 per item on clothing would be like what it would be. Yes, sassy granny pants, you left and made my sales low. It's all your fault. All your fault. I don't know if it's because I started at 4, if I had crappy stuff. I didn't feel like I had crappy stuff, but like today was my worst sale ever. But it wasn't bad. I was telling Julian, I'm like, I need to like know that I'm not gonna make like so much every sale. It is okay. It is still a good sale. Miss Kathy, I think she went to bed. Miss Kathy like saved my butt tonight on Whatnot. She bought 20 items of my 100. I was like, Miss Kathy wins. Miss Kathy wins. Like I could have tape recorded it. So I am like super appreciative of Miss Kathy. So Val, if you were trying to get your own dolphin, Stephanie came in, and I'm gonna give you a shared dolphin again. Don't be mad, Miss Val.
Here's another one from Stephanie.
Stephanie. Sassy Granny Pants. You're supposed to change your name. Listen, her name is Sassy Granny Plus, and I just started calling her Sassy Granny Pants. I gave her like a new name, but she likes it. She likes her Sassy Granny Pants name. So here is all. I'm going to go old school. I'm going to give you the old dolphin for your mind. All of it.
Super chat.
Yay. Yeah, Stephanie likes to buy. I know my regular people, and I know what they like. And if they're not there, I'm like, oh, man. You know, because you know, Amy, do you have like that where you know certain people like certain things? And you're like, oh, so-and-so is going to love this.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I only do, you said something about a sale a month. I only do a live sale a month. Unless I team up with somebody, like I'm having a sale with Yvonne on Yvonne's channel on Thursday, but definitely I know my viewers. And if I run into something, I'll even send them like private messages. Like, look what I found.
Hey. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm going to grab a question, Julian, and then we'll grab that next super chat.
Gotcha.
Kristen says, I have 12 Haviland Limoges Christmas plates. Smarter to sell one at a time, lots of 3, or all 12 with crazy shipping.
I've always liked to sell plates individually, but you also have the quantity on there too. So if people want to buy more than one, they can. And then you just add in the additional costs for shipping. So that's how I like to do it.
Yeah, me too. Although I hate to ship plates, I worry until they get there. But I've sold them both ways, individually or as a set.
I'm trying to look it up to see how much these things are worth. So I don't know yet.
I would say if it's like a set, like they're all different, like it's the 12 days of Christmas, you might get more money selling them as the set. Now, if they're like a solid pattern and they're all the same plate, then I would sell them in lots of 4. People are not going to buy lots of 3. Typically, it's a family of 4 is your most common family. So I would look, though, if I'm going to make more selling them individually, like somebody broke one of their 12 Christmas plates and they want a replacement, and it's worth, if a plate's worth $20 or more, I'll sell it by itself. But like with my Disney collector's plates, they were worth more individually as a set because people wanted the whole set. And so those I did together. But plates are easy shipping. 12 plates would be easy shipping for me. I carry 14 by 14 boxes all the time. We wrap them, 2 layers of bubble wrap, add another one, make this giant stack, fit perfect in a 14 by 14 box. And the shipping wouldn't be overly crazy because they would be 14 by 14. They would be heavy, but if the set is worth enough, then somebody would pay it. All right, Julian, what's the verdict?
I'm selling it as a set if it's all 12. If it's 12 days of Christmas, 100% selling as a set.
So it is all different plates.
Yep. That's what it looks like anyway. It seems like it sells better as a set than it does individually.
Yeah, so that would be like my Disney plates. I would do them all as a set. All right. Morpha with the beautiful butterfly. It's all the Whatnot questions tonight. Is Whatnot set up for media mail shipping yet? Oh, I think I know the answer to this. It's yes. They are. Katie reads, I remember because I told Katie, there's a Whatnot seller group, Primetime Treasure Hunter Dom started it. I was actually the first member in there, even though I signed up in March and didn't start till August. They are set up for media mail. They are. So that is the answer to that one. Here is I'm like going back and forth between the two dolphins tonight. Here's your dolphin. Oh, I skipped again. I should have starred stuff. Man. Okay, we answered that one. Okay. I know what the question was, but where did it go? Okay. Pame wants to know, has anyone just tossed their death pile? I'm overwhelmed with inventory I purchased years ago. I have not listed, and I'm doing much better at sourcing now.
Wow, that's I felt like doing that before several times, but I've never actually did it because I invested in it. And I know some of the items, even filtering through them, are worth quite a bit of money. Some things that I even forgot that were in there that I got listing. So if anything, if anybody's considering doing that same thing, go through the best items that are in there. And if you want to donate something, see where the best place to donate for a good cause in your community, or if there's not a place that you could donate that to for like a community or shelters, give it to, say, a place like, I think, Salvation Army, to where it goes towards a good cause, or something that's just not so a dead end of no value, because it may be something that's given away from you and is not worth anything to you anymore, but it could mean so much more to other people rather than something monetary.
Yeah, I would never toss my death pile. I definitely have areas of piles, and I go through them pretty regularly. So I've been terrible listing this year on eBay. But when I get to that pile, sometimes things aren't as valuable or aren't selling as well in that area. So they will go to a different pile. So I have boxes by season that go to my antique boots or my vendor boots. That allows me to put some lesser valuable things out there. So if it's dropped in value, I can go somewhere else with it. I also have my online sales, so my live sales. So I have options. I just kind of divvy things up. And then if I really think that something's not worth even putting a tag on it and taking it to the booth, I will definitely donate it back. I have a donate pile going on right now in the basement.
Yeah, the big thing to me on this comment is that I'm much better at sourcing now, because we all know I didn't start this a long time ago. I've only started this 3 years ago. The stuff I picked up 3 years ago at the very beginning, where I didn't know anything, seriously bad, like just bad, would not sell. It's just not good stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I had a lot of this. So when Kayla came in full time, basically we went through it all, and basically whatever was terrible, we did a yard sale, and at the end of the yard sale, everything was free. Like, we were at a big convention center, we on the intercom, hey, everything's free in booth 3. Get it out of here. Because seriously, this stuff just wasn't that good. So I'd give it away from free on Facebook Marketplace. I would go through the pile first, because obviously you're much more knowledgeable now, and you're gonna be able to pick things out that are a lot better. But seriously, I did the same thing. About 2 years in, I had a ton of stuff, and I was like, this stuff is junk. And that was just me being honest with myself. So we went to the yard sale. We made as much as we could on it to get any money back that we could. I have to say, most of it was in lots that I had bought in auction. I would take the good things out and not list the bad things. And a lot of that stuff we sold to the yard sale or just gave away for free. So I've actually done that in the last 6 months, and it cleared out a ton of space. I didn't throw it away. We just gave it away for free.
I went through and tossed about half when I moved from the house out to the shed. When we bought the shed and started like clearing out, before I moved it into the shed, I made sure it was worth keeping. If it wasn't, I listed it on Facebook and gave it away for free. So if it were me, I wouldn't want to just bulk throw it away, because I found multiple $150 items in my death pile from years ago. So I would quickly scan through it. And if you know, this is crap, I shouldn't have got it, like, go donate it. Or I like posting on Facebook because they come pick it up for me. But if you need the tax write-off, you know, go donate it. But I would at least glance through it. I don't think I could blindly throw away a whole death pile, because I had sterling silver bowls in my death pile. Like, somebody would have been a very, very happy camper if that was the case. All right, I have all the questions starred now. Or do we have another super chat?
I didn't see
We got it, right?
I think we have it.
I think we got it. Okay. Mr. Jeremy, what's your most adventurous off eBay reselling venture that you can remember or will choose to share with everyone?
The one that pops to mind is one that's not a good story, but it's something that's realistic that will happen that I want to share with you all. So on OfferUp, I ended up seeing some items that this person was selling, and the individual made it seem like these are yours, come and get them. So he set up a date and a time, and I agreed to it. The following day, I'm about to head off, and he says, something's going on. Can you come by tomorrow? These are waiting for you. So that happened 3 days in a row. For what he was asking, $20 for these electronics, it was worth doing that for, because it would have sold for around $400. So I was invested emotionally after the first day, when it was kind of a no, you got to wait. So when it finally came down to me waiting for him at his door, the door through the garage was open, and I see two guys just park and walk straight through, and I'm thinking they're family. The lady comes around the back of the garage and says, hey, you could come in through this way. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I already know what's going to happen. So I walk in, and these two guys, as I walk in, they had like 5 minutes on me. They see my eyes where it's going, and the guy rushes over and grabs it. He says, I want to buy this too. And I look at the gentleman like, that's what you said you're going to hold for somebody, even though he doesn't know who I am, but he's going to find out soon enough without an attitude, because this is still his place. So I say, hey, I'm the one on OfferUp that's been messaging you about this for 3 days. And he looks at the guy and he's like, well, there's other stuff that you're interested in. I was like, I'm good. You could have it, and I just walked right out. But that's one of those things where even when people make promises online, it may not work out. And I say this because don't let the bad side of you saying popping up at the mouth get to you, because this person ended up reaching back out to me and apologized and said, I have way more stuff that I will give you for pennies to $1, and most of the stuff for free if you like to come by. And I said, no, thank you. But long story short, you never know. Just be professional, play your part, because you're still a business when it comes down to it.
I think I would say opening my booths is my biggest reselling venture. Done it for over a year and a half. I started with one at a place where it was right at the beginning of COVID, and it got shut down. So we got our whole room set up, everything priced, and then boom, the world closed. We're like, dang, this is a bad sign. But since then, we've moved to another location in a different mall, and have opened up 2 more booths. We just opened up a 3rd booth just with holiday stuff. And that's been fun, different. It comes with merchandising and a whole different kind of mentality and lesson to it, but it's been fun.
Well, if you watch my channel, dog, Kayla and I go on road trips a good bit. We like to go 3, 4, 5, 6 times a year, whatever, jump in a car, go somewhere. And I think the funniest thing or the most adventurous stuff is like when around Myrtle Beach, Myrtle's Inlet, Conway, I know the area very well. So I'm very comfortable going out and getting out of my car and walking up to these houses. When you're like in like the middle of nowhere in some mountain town that you've never been to, and like there's a sketchy sign that says this way, and you're like, it's got to be that way. You go down like these dirt roads for like 20 minutes and haven't seen a house, and then there's like a little shack on the side of the road, and you're like, it's got to be here. And then you like get out, you're like, this could not be good. And then it's usually the best sale of my life, right? And that's actually why we like doing these road trips. It's just because the stuff that you find when you get out of like the area that you're in, especially in the area, there's not much. I mean, there's a lot in Myrtle Beach, but you're not like finding like airports in the back of people's yards, and this guy like rebuilding jets, and there's just crazy stuff that we found out in Tennessee and West Virginia and North Carolina, just a ton of cool places. And that's what we actually like the best. It's hard to do. It's hard to get that much stuff in your car and stuff, but that would definitely be it. Like just going out there and meeting people, like just way off the beaten path is fun.
Yeah, and I am way off the beaten path where I live.
You're one of the ones I'd probably find. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was really surprised. As far as like reselling, like I go all over. I travel all over the country. I don't get to as much anymore since Dalton started school, but I just love going. I have to go sometime next year to Vegas to meet all my Vegas friends because I have a lot of them. So I have to go to Vegas. Yes, definitely Sonny. Tiffany Thrifting Vegas, Danny, like I have so many friends out there. I have
Carrie,
to go.
Dawn.
Yes. Yeah. And I see Carrie's in the hat too. So we go all over, and it's the same thing where we're like, where the heck are we going? You know, and I think people think that when they come to my house. I did a yard sale and did like $1,300 in a day though. People will come, but I made sure I put like how many miles it was, like off the main road. I'm like 6 miles, like you have to go. Cause I'm 6 miles like off of the nearest state road, which is a long drive in the country when you're seeing nothing but like pastures. So yeah, for us, it's probably the same thing, going out, going crazy. And yeah, that would be it. All right. Miss Sue, listen, I have a list of 34 questions right now. So we'll see how many we can get answered. Miss Sue wants to know if anybody on the panel besides me has made an effort not to thrift or source for a period of time.
I've been doing it more recently, especially when I started going to the flea markets with Danny, the niche lady. I've been able to source for bundles of stuff. And I like that it's actually ended up to where I have less items than what I would thrifting, say at Goodwill, Savers, and so on, to where these items are more valuable. And I like that I'm able to have less items, which involves coming back to having more time for myself and my wife. And it works out. And I think that's one of my goals, is to find more items, less of them that are worth a lot more, to give me back time to do more stuff like the reseller cartel boutique that we're about to open.
It's kind of hard because I do the shop alongs and I do the hauls, and I have to be out a certain number of videos for my channel. So I have to source on a regular basis, but I do like to get out like a month ahead of my videos and take a break. So yeah, I have had periods of time where I'm like, I don't need to source. I've got, a month of videos in the can, basically. I can just slow down.
A month of videos is wild. That is a goal, to be that far. Like when we go on vacation.
Be beautiful.
Oh,
I can't get a day ahead.
Yeah, that would be amazing. But no, I'm in the same boat. My YouTube video is predominantly 100% sourcing stuff, so we never stop. It's a routine now, just to go out there and buy stuff and make sure it gets listed quickly. And that's what Kayla does. She's been killing it when it comes to listing. That's why I told her to slow down. I said, we're going to run out of stuff here in a little bit. So just, she's killing it. So no, absolutely. My YouTube channel is all thrifting, or all sourcing. So I have to do it. I like to do it. It's not like a job. I mean, it is a job.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, I mean, I did it for a while, but I still go, because the same thing for the videos. I'm going to highlight. Miss Kathy, are you the one that bought 20 items? I need to know. There are several Kathys and several Cindys and several Debs. I have like a lot of the same names. So yes, 4-day cancellation is a choice in your store policies, and that is one I do not care to change. So I'm not going to change it. So I guess I knew myself whenever I click that, even though I don't remember clicking it. All right. Reigning Retro, North Carolina. Are any of us planning any sales or promotions for the weekend after Thanksgiving?
I probably should and might. I still probably should. Squinch my eyes really hard. But I'm only thinking about being in Hawaii. I'll be in Oahu for Thanksgiving week. So that's thanks to you for bringing that up, because I think that's what I'm going to do after this live is set that up and schedule it out.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about it at all. So maybe. It's a good idea. That's like Black Friday, right? Shop small. Yeah, it's a good idea.
Or Cyber Monday too. Don't forget Cyber Monday.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Business, yeah.
I actually lied last week because I said I was doing a sale. That's not true. I'm not going to be here. We're in like we're because we're leaving too. Kat's going to the mountains, and me and Kayla are going to New York. So I won't be doing anything.
Sonny's going to Hawaii.
Yeah.
We're
So
all
actually,
just
now is the
leaving.
perfect time to sell on eBay.
You're all leaving me behind. What the hell?
You could hold it down.
Yeah. So
He's gonna do all the selling for all of us.
That's right.
I am gonna set time away, so I'll still accept sales. So I probably will do a bump higher that additional Friday, but I set up where it automatically messages anybody who buys from me, and it'll say I'll be out of town until November 30th. If you purchase from me, your item will be shipped when I return. If that is too late, please message me and I'll cancel. So that's a feature they have. That's what I did last time when I was gone for 10 days, and it worked beautifully. And I got a ton of sales. So I'm going to do it again, and I probably will, even though I'll be in time away mode, I probably will run it. And I still send the offers. I still send offers too. Okay, hold on. Oh, Christopher. Yay. I think you were like later last week though, so you're making progress. That's excellent. I think you were at like 9:59 last week. That's like a big improvement.
It is.
Good job. Here's your dolphin, Chris. I think Gino, who made that dolphin as I'm dancing, is going to be at Renninger's as well. So I'll get to meet Gino. Thank you, Mr. Christopher. Chris is amazing and very supportive of the reseller community, and we all appreciate you. Reigning Retro, North Carolina. Have you sourced at pawn shops, consignment shops, and if so, any tips for them?
I haven't really gotten into, say, pawn shops. I did get rejected the first time moving here to Vegas and seeing Pawn Stars, and I came across this kind of the Last Supper kind of print. I don't know what kind of print it is, and I want to learn more about prints. But I went in there thinking, from what I saw in the comps, I'm going to make some good money regardless. For this $7 item, might get $100. As soon as I walk in and turn the item, they said, we don't take any religious items. Shut down, walked out, left with the tail tucked in between my legs, and never went back again.
I treat consignment shops like I would, the antique malls or the thrift stores. There's, a chance you're going to find something there. I just look at comps as I'm, kind of shopping around. I've never shopped at a pawn shop to source.
Yeah, we don't have too many consignment shops in this area. I've been in a couple, haven't bought anything. Pawn shops, we're in a very tourist-related town, and it seems like pawn shops are just super high, especially for stuff that I know, like fishing gear, golf clubs and stuff. They're just really, really high.
The golf club prices there were
insane, right? You walk into a pawn shop, they're $50 to $100 on really $25 clubs. So
it was horrible.
Yeah, they're super high.
Remember, I saw those through the window, and I was like, Julian, look at all these, and I think they wanted like $30 or $40 a piece.
Yep. So,
you remember
and that's
that?
It's because they can sell them in when it comes golf season. Although a lot of our golf courses have been actually closed, so it's interesting. I think you're going to see a lot more golf clubs being sold around here because they're shutting down a ton of them. So, but the answer to the question, no.
Okay, so my answer might make you change your thoughts on this, everybody. So I stopped at a pawn shop, and if people have been watching me, they know this story. Stopped at a pawn shop because the thrift store was closed, and I'm like, I'm going to shop somewhere. It was after 5, thrift store was closed, pawn shop next door was open. I bought Wedgwood dishes. I made $3,000 in profit. They had been sitting in that pawn shop. I negotiated. I got $150 off the price, bought the whole set. Each plate was worth $70. I also found a Steuben strawberry that sold for $450, for $50 in the pawn case. So they might be pricing it by the jewelry or whatever. Well, it was a name brand, and those guys don't know that. And that's the same with like costume jewelry. I bet you could find like name brand pieces for cheap, and dishes, like the less looked at stuff, like not the games, you know, look for jewelry that's name brand. I haven't went back a lot because it's not near me. I should go to mine near me because they probably have a lot of tools and stuff because we're out in the country. I bet I could probably get some good deals. And I would suggest making a relationship with them where when they have inventory that's been sitting a really long time, they call you to give you a deal. I actually should probably do that to the 2 pawn shops here in my town, because you might be able to get some really good deals if they're at the point where they just want it gone and they know they can rely on you buying. But that might require you buying a few things you really don't want to build that relationship where they know, okay, this person's going to buy from me. I think that would be a good thing. I'm interested to know everybody's question to this one. How troublesome, if you know an answer, how troublesome is the UPS claim process if something a seller sends arrives to the buyer broken, and is it worth it?
I rarely use UPS. I never had any issues with them, so I wouldn't know this question, how to answer it for you.
I think I have had one claim, and it was through, before I used Pirate Ship, it was through stamps.com, and it was insured. I didn't have all that much problem getting the claim, but I think it was because I had the buyer was a good buyer. Like they sent all the photos, like everything that was required, they sent, and it worked out fine.
I send all my golf clubs and a lot of stuff through UPS, and I think I had one thing break, but it was very low cost, so it wasn't even worth it to me anyway. But I haven't ever put a claim out yet. Knock on wood.
So I had UPS damage a $500 painting, and I mean, they destroyed. And how about I couldn't file a claim? I printed my label through eBay. So when I went to UPS, they said, you didn't buy the label from us. I never found anywhere that would allow me to file a claim. Look, when I star all the questions, I can watch the bottom of the chat. Bruce Hall said, forget the claim, move on. That is my feeling on it, is forget it.
Not forget about it if it's $500 item.
Oh, God.
But I even called UPS and they wouldn't talk to me because I bought it through eBay through a third party. Like I literally hit a wall. Luckily, the buyer still wanted it without the frame and the glass, which is what they damaged. The actual painting wasn't. So I ended up breaking even on it because I shipped it back to them. But man, yeah. Okay, question for me. Kat, when you are on vacation with your family for your birthday, what will you do with your eBay store? We'll be out of town at the same time and wondering if I should not do a promo. So we just talked about it. I'll revisit it. I will do time away. You can do that up to 15 days and still take sales. And they have an auto message feature that will message every buyer that buys something from you saying, I'm out of town. Like I'll be out of town until November 30th. We will ship your item when we return. If this is too late, I'm happy to cancel it. Just message me. No problems. I'll probably bump my sale up, say for Black Friday to Cyber Monday. I'll probably run it longer. I'll run it Friday to Tuesday instead of Friday to Monday. So I cover both of those, high shopping days. But I would still do it. Just be prepared. You might be shipping a lot. I'm used to like heavy shipping, so I'm okay if I come back to 100 items that I need to ship. I'm all right with that. But be prepared, if you run a good promotion to get back from vacation. You always need a vacation from vacation. I'm always tired when I get back from vacation. And then you're going to have to ship a ton of things.
Crazy how you're tired after vacation.
It's like, it makes no sense. All right. First Saturday's thrift. When selling on Whatnot, do you always take pictures of your items when you catalog them? I think me and Sonny are the only ones that can answer this. We're the only ones on there so far.
I would recommend you take pictures, and the reason why, if you put, say, just a number and have 100 of that listing and have something just simple in general. Pictures help let people know what they're looking at. And I believe on Whatnot, I haven't done this, but I believe on Whatnot, you could sell directly items to the person. But pictures help, just like as you do on eBay and anything else. Anything that could help benefit you to make a sale or get people intrigued, I would definitely take a photo. Even if it's just one photo, just take that money shot photo and put it up on there.
Yeah, and I catalog because then people can pre-bid, they can flag the item. I don't know if I wasn't, getting consistent sales, I don't know if I would catalog. Because, if you're only selling 5 of 100 items, I don't know if I would feel like that's wasted time. Like tonight, I had 1 item out of 100 not sell. So very, very rarely do I have them. So I am OCD in catalog, and I number them, and it makes it easier when I ship them. So I would at least make the envelopes and maybe make them, but I don't know if I was new and wasn't selling that much, I would be pissed if I spent 3 hours cataloging. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm just telling you guys from like a new seller standpoint, I maybe start with like 30 items. Don't go cat crazy and sell 100. Try like 30. Don't go cat crazy. Cat is crazy. Nancy, that there's a new saying like cat crazy. I did not record a video in the pawn shop. I had no idea I was going to find that stuff. I was not prepared. I wish I had done a video. We went after Dalton, got a haircut one day, and I just happened to feel like I needed to shop. I wish I had gotten a video, but I did not, unfortunately. Another question for me, when will you be at Renninger's? I will be at Renninger's Friday, probably afternoon, depending on when we get up and leave, because it's about a 3-hour drive. So we'll probably be there, I would say noon at the latest on Friday, and then pretty much all day Saturday and Sunday as well. We are staying in town. George's booth is 4079, so if you go there for a little while, I can almost guarantee you will see me. I don't know if Dalton will want to be with me or Brad, so you might see Dalton out with Brad. Brad and I are not going to shop together, I guarantee you. We bought an extra cart, so we each have our own cart, and we can go do what we want. But I'm surprised he's even coming. So I'm glad he's coming, but I'm surprised. So all 3 days, message me on Instagram or Facebook, and I'll try and tell you where I'm at. Anybody who hasn't been to this show, it is 40 to 50 acres and hundreds of vendors. Like, you could be there all 3 days, both of you, the same times, and not see the person. So unless it's planned, the chance of seeing someone is probably pretty low.
Challenge accepted.
Okay, Sonny, fly on in. Come on. What is the best way to find online auctions? I'm having a hard time finding them in California.
The only one I've been on, and it's one I got yesterday for a barometer. And I usually don't go on high bid, but something told me to go on high bid. And I saw nobody was interested in this barometer. And usually I get little ones, but this looked like almost like a wall clock, which got my attention. I got $10 for it. Or I paid $10 for it, and it should be around $700 if it works. So I thought that would be really good to check out. But I would say Scott would be one who's in the chat right now, Chichinking. He has a lot of videos about how to source for stuff. He gives really good tips as well. Very proficient in information, what works for him. And he's been doing that for quite a bit. And what he's doing is not just $100 items, like say storage units. He's finding multi-$1,000 items like storage units. And I would recommend me to you checking out Scott Chichinking and his videos, because he does teach about the things. It's not just a regular video. He wants to teach you about how to look for stuff to help you out.
I would suggest too, if you find local estate sales, I have made relationships with some local estate sale companies that also do online auctions. They will put you on an email list. You get tagged whenever they're going to have an online auction. But I sometimes search through HighBid, auction.zip, auctionzip.com, I think. But yeah, those are the ones that I've used.
I've only used Hybid, and I used to do a lot of online auctions, and I did it through Hybid. I would find ones close to me, and but seriously, I just haven't done them in a really long time. So, but that's the only one that I would use.
So I know the answer to this because in my $9.99 membership, I source every other week, and I have California members. There are not high bid California auctions. They are not there. It's all like engineering, big equipment. There's no good stuff on high bid. So for my California people, and just FYI, if you're in my sourcing, I will find an auction with something for you. Like, I will find it. Max Sold is really good in California for downsizing estate sales. I find a lot of good stuff for people on Max Sold in California. And then the other one would be Auction Ninja. And then a third option would be to look at ship stuff, get stuff shipped. Like, all my jewelry has been shipped. So I would look at ship stuff as well. But Max Sold and Auction Ninja, you're gonna find some in California. I was like floored when I first started looking. I'm like, there is nothing on high bid in California. Like, there isn't. So I would try those two, and you should be able to do something. I am going to highlight this one. Selena's the only person out of 500 people that noticed that I got my hair done. Selena, you get a star sticker. I did get my hair done. It really doesn't look that different, I know, and I realized it. And I was thinking it would be dark brown here and then lighter, and my idea and her idea didn't mesh, but it still looks good, so I'm not complaining, and I love her. Next time, if I have something in my head, I will show her a picture. But we worked really hard to lighten it. It took 3 visits to get my hair lighter, and I think that was in her head, and she's like, I'm not darkening that much of this hair after I spent hours lightening it. But it, like, if you see, it's got like some auburn in it up top. You can't really, it's not that much different, but all my gray is gone, so now I'm not ashamed to show you my scalp. I have a lot of gray hair. So yes, I did get my hair done. Helene wants to know, is anyone having issues with eBay's shipping options when they list from their phones? I have to create a draft on my phone and finish the shipping portion and list it from my laptop.
I list basically daily throughout the days, and I haven't had any issues.
I think I would ask what the issue is. I know when I'm listing from my phone, I like to give them options, and I don't see the options always on my phone. So I always I like to look and see. I ship a lot more like UPS for larger things where people will like choose USPS. So I like to go in and give them both options, which is easier to do when I'm doing it on the computer. So I don't know what the exact problem is, but if that's it, then I experience the same thing.
No. I only give them one option, and I don't think I've had any trouble with that.
I have not listed in over a week on eBay. So if it's a recent problem, I would not know. Before that, I did not have any problems at all. Look, guys, should I take it?
Everybody's going to ask, how much did you pay for it?
Yeah. What?
Oh, yeah, you're in the
$1,
good
Sonny, $1. What do I pay for everything? $1.
Yeah,
I'm taking people are going to ask. Yes, I would sell it.
Okay.
Confirm, accept.
So they sent me a $70 offer. I countered at $110. They came back at $95. They came up $25. I am going to accept their offer. Sold.
I like when they do that and not go up by like $1. They jump up and they're kind of shocking.
Then I go up. That puts me at $1,200 in sales today on eBay. $1,200, and I haven't listed in a week. So I am feeling my 3 years of daily listing is paying off right now. I am so surprised. I have not listed in a week, and I have over almost $4,000 in sales this week. I am like so happy with it, and I'm honestly shocked. I'm like so shocked that but I'm still sending out offers, so I'm still being active. I'm just not listing. Kat, is there anything you don't like about the label sticker maker you mentioned a couple weeks ago? I haven't used it for 4x6 labels because I use my Dymo, but I haven't had any issues with it. And I printed like 300 stickers. So no, there's nothing I don't like about it. It's a lower cost. It's off Nova. It's in my Amazon shop. It was on sale for 100 from 140. It is Wi-Fi capable. I'm swallowing wrong today. I'm not sick. I'm finally not sick. I promise. I'm just swallowing wrong. I did it during my whatnot auction too. I was like choking. So I have water. I should just drink my water. So no, I haven't had any issues. And I've had a lot of people tell me they bought like the off-brand, $100 thermal printers and not had issues. And I have had no issues with it. And my Dymo, sometimes I have to unplug it and replug it. So I'm thinking if I have to print 50 labels in a day, if I don't have a backup thermal, do you know how much of a pain in the butt that would be? So that's why I went ahead and bought that one. So I'm using it only for stickers, but also to know I have a backup for 4x6 labels. So there, I have no complaints with it. I don't know the answer to this. I don't know if one of you might. Pokemon Dennis wants to know, is there any way to make templates to limit all the clicking? All my items are used. All are buy it now or best offer. Does anybody know, can you set up like a really basic template like that?
I believe you could do it on eBay, but because I use List Perfectly, I have templates on there for, I think, shirts and pants. And the shirts go for anything that are top wear. That's how I use my templates, but I'm pretty sure you could do it on eBay and it asks you for templates right above the description box.
Yeah, I don't know about clicking the different options, but yes, I have set up like, I named it like legalese. So when I go into list, I grab my template that just plops in all of my, information, my rules and regulations, if that's what you mean. But yeah, I don't know any other shortcut for all the rest.
Oh, here comes Scott with the knowledge.
Yeah, because I was like, I have no idea.
Yeah, and use it to create new listings from, for example, has. So much of the information is repeated. So
There you go.
I would say, like, I couldn't use that because I do all sell similar. So having a template would mean you are building a new listing every time, which I have no intentions of ever doing, ever. Yeah. So I would not use it. Mile High Mom, my next whatnot sale is tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I've cataloged, I think, 35 of the items. I saw somebody comment, I have a really nice bolo tie tomorrow night. And I will probably stay up till midnight cataloging more and finish it in the morning. It does take me quite a while. Sapphire is asking me, I'm considering using List Perfectly. Would you mind discussing what level might be good with limited funds and how the month-to-month works? So the lowest level of List Perfectly is $29.99 a month. It just is not going to copy a lot of things. So it will move over your picture. It will move over your title. It will move over your description. But what it's not going to move over is the color, the shipping dimensions, the shipping weight. So it's going to do about half the work for you for $29.99. I have a code, the Nurse Flipper, all one word. You'll get 30% off. I have the highest. Mine's $69.99. And it copies everything. So it copies the color, it copies the size, it copies the category, it copies my shipping weight, my dimensions, the brand. Like, my mom's only clicking like 2 things, except Etsy, which is a pain in the butt, but that's like a whole different ball game. So basically, the more you pay, the more it copies. And it's a month-to-month subscription, so you could turn it off if you're not finding it's working for you. Or like if you try the $29.99, you're like, I want to see what this thing, you could try it for 1 month and then, downgrade or upgrade. Sonny, what plan are you on?
The one you have, the top one.
The top one.
I will say this about List Perfectly, folks. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, they often give away giveaways of free months. And it's usually the best one
and
that
I
they
give
have.
away too.
Cat does give them away too. So I would recommend if you're interested in doing that and your funds are low. And I had one person last month that was asking me about whatnot, and then something happened to where she couldn't get it on time. And I said, go ahead and go over there and follow them and just share items. And I've done this myself, and I've actually won through Crystal Rosie's Closet, who was in the chat earlier. I'm not sure if she's still here. My computer went down, and my videos were taking around 11 hours to edit. Crystal said, hey, if you needed something, they're doing a giveaway. Lo and behold, I caught it the day before it ended. And then the following day after that, I ended up winning. So I won a tablet that has helped me continue to be a content creator as well as continue listing. And they gave me a free month. One of the items that I had on eBay for months, it was a hat, a Polo Ralph Lauren hat. As soon as I went over on List Perfectly, it was one of the 2 or 3 items I put on Mercari. It sold for $135 within 3 hours of listing. That sell alone that I got for around $4 from the thrift store covered the next 2 months of how I'm mathing it out in my head for List Perfectly. It paid for itself in a way. So I would recommend trying to go over there, support them as you would. Also ask questions. They do have a community there as well. So if you want to learn, like here on Cat, also follow them because they are deeply involved with the community in every positive way.
Yeah. And look, I'm going to show you guys this. Since Poshmark switched hands, look, these are sales like in the last 3 hours on Poshmark. Like that pays for List Perfectly right there in the last 2 hours for me. My Posh sales are crazy late. I'm like, what is going on? We shipped out 8 Posh yesterday, and that's what, 5 more new ones today. Posh is on fire for me, and I heard a lot of people saying the same thing. So if you haven't thought about Posh, now that it has switched hands, my sales have went insane on Poshmark. And like none of this is clothing. It's a Longaberger basket, a Native American doll, a Tivana thing, and some plates. Not one clothing item. So just FYI. Miss Mary Garcia says she just picked up a vintage Sunbeam mixer with all the attachments and extra bowls. Would you part it out or sell it as a lot and it has a good sell-through rate? I'm assuming she means like the mixer itself has a good sell-through rate.
I've never sold one of them, so I wouldn't know how to answer that.
I actually bought an old Sunbeam mixer and needed parts. So what do you have? No, I'm just kidding. I would look them up. I mean, if it sells better as one piece, I know some of those parts sell really well on their own though. So I don't think I'd take anything off of the main mixer though. I would leave that. And then, you know, the attachments and the bowls I would maybe sell separately.
I part a lot of these out. If you have the attachment, it's like a beater that actually is connected. So it's not like individual. It's like one beater, but 2 of them. It has a bar across it. That thing's easy $40-$50 all day long. It actually has a specific name to it. I don't remember what it is, but if you just take a picture of it, it'll usually pop it up. But I always, if it's the Sunbeam bowls, the actual ones branded on the bottom, I always separate those, or I sell them together, but I separate them from the machine. I will take the motor off the machine because the motor's so heavy, but it fits in a smaller box by itself rather than the stand. I'll take the knobs off of it, like the little thing at the very bottom. I'll take that knob off. That thing's like $9. I'll take the turntable off. I think that's $15. So I will like break it down, and usually they can be worth especially I think it's like the chrome one does pretty good, and like there's a green one, like an avocado one maybe, that does pretty good. But I literally will take everything off of those things. Even the screws. Sometimes you can just sell the screws to the turntable. Kid you not.
I think Julian's the expert, so I'm gonna
I've sold so many.
Yeah.
I'm gonna defer to him. Patricia Wells wants to know, do you have to take eBay's pricing advice? This is a good question for those of you that are new.
I've never seen any of their recommended prices play out to the actual comps. It's always like the higher end items. They're telling me to list it for a quarter of the price, and even have low end items that are like, I know it's only around say $10 and they're trying to tell me to price it for $39. So out of curiosity, I still check and it's completely wrong. But no, I don't follow their advice. I follow what the numbers tell me, and also my own experiences, because you can have items that have low comps and know that it's worth much more and sell it for more in a pretty good period of time. Go with your gut.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever taken their advice on pricing. Actually, I think one time I was listing something for auction and they popped in a suggestion and I was like, yeah, okay. I think one time that was it.
Yeah, what they said, absolutely. I don't take any type of advice from their pricing stuff. Sometimes it's right on. But I do check it, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of times negative.
I think 99% of the time it is negative. It's a bot scanning things it thinks is similar to yours, and it is way off. So I would totally ignore it. You do not have to use it. Raining Retro North Carolina. If I have something that has tons of other actives of the same things, saying I create a lot just to stand out, such as 2 pairs of kids' Levi's, the same size, or 2 Build-A-Bears. Does anybody else do this? So if there's a lot of that item, they lot them up to kind of stand apart from the crowd.
I rarely do that. So rare that I can't remember the last time that I've done it. But I do remember when I try to say bundle things up, I'll end up getting a private message saying that if they could buy one of the items rather than both. And it's like, I just had that a few seconds ago. So, and I do it anyways because there's a sale. So I separate it and fix the listing and they do buy it.
I've done it strategically. I think just recently I had some little like Charming Tales figurines, and one of them was worth quite a bit more than the other 2. I kind of lotted them together to stand out so that I could sell the 3, and they sold pretty quickly. But normally if there's a ton of them listed and there's not a ton of them sold, I'm probably not going to take it to eBay anyway.
Yeah, I've done that. I like the bundle, but Sonny's right. A lot of times, like, I'll bundle something and they're like, hey, I only want this one. I'm like, hey, buy them all and you can have that one and have 4 other ones. So, yeah, I mean, I actually do that a lot, especially with jeans or shirts or anything like that. I do, if they're the same size, I do bundle a lot. And sometimes it works out. And other times, people say they want just the red one. And it takes a long time to figure that out.
So I'm going to contradict myself here as a buyer and as a seller. So as a seller, I list them individually. I don't most times I separate everything out. But as a buyer, if I'm looking for jeans for Brad or for Dalton, I'm looking only for lots. So you as a seller would get my purchase because I know I would pay less if I'm buying 2 and combining shipping. And when I used to buy scrubs, I would look for a lot of scrubs in my size. I would never buy single ones. So I don't list to cater to customers like I buy. So I buy like that, but I don't sell like that. Lala Girl said, I won one of your giveaways on Whatnot. Thanks. You're welcome. So if you don't know, I do 5 giveaways every single Whatnot show. 5 giveaways. Some, like, most of them are worth at least $20. I gave away a beautiful sterling and amethyst necklace tonight. So definitely follow me on Whatnot. You don't have to buy anything. You can enter the giveaways. I pay shipping. I had my first international winner in my sale on Sunday. I'm like, why did they just take $15 out of my account? So it cost me $15 to ship a piece of jewelry to an international winner, but I still turn it on because I hate to exclude people from it, just because they live in another country. So even if you are international, you can come in my Whatnots and you can buy, but you can also win the giveaways and I pay the shipping. So you are very, very welcome. Belinda wants to know, is there anything pewter worth buying?
I like reselling pewters. Most of the time, they are small, little bitty first class type of items that I come across. And I usually get around $15. I think one I sold for $18. But it's usually maybe because of the maker's mark on it, if there is one. But I like finding them. I just like those little types of things. I'm just intrigued by the little type of toy figures, pewter stuff.
Yeah, I like to buy pewter too, but that's a great question. There's a guy who comes to the auction every Thursday at the place that I work, the antique mall that I work, and he buys up all the pewter. And I'm always looking at him like, what are you doing, dude? What's going on there? Should I be buying up all the pewter too?
It's funny. I just did a lot of research on pewter because I just picked up 37 pounds of it
I
that
saw
has
Whoa.
been melted down. So it's like, but scrap pewter sells. It really does. If you go on eBay and just look at scrap pewter, it's mostly tin, and it sells fairly well.
That's
So maybe that's
interesting.
what people are like buying it for. If they can get it for super super cheap,
Yeah,
I
7
bought
to
it.
11 pounds.
Yeah,
Yep,
they
get
sell
7
by the
$11 per
bulk.
pound.
Yep. So it's
Wow.
pretty neat. So
That is
maybe they're getting
interesting.
it super cheap. Yeah. But I have like nuggets of pewter, but I think that I'm actually going to melt it down and make little figures. I'm going to try to get a mold with a beard. And
Ooh.
yeah. See, and I
Oh,
just
that would
let
be
that out.
cool.
Yeah. That is a
He's
459
like,
people
whoops.
just. I didn't mean to say that quite yet, but that might be in the-
Self-plug.
but that was my idea when I bought the pewter. I'm always thinking of other things.
That would be cool.
Yeah, it'd be cool. Little pewter guys.
Yeah, pewter beards.
Pewter beard.
I just sold a pewter figure for $400 earlier this month. The bigger pewter that are by named artists sell really good. Mine was a Native American piece. I don't have any in here, but I still have 2 more pieces in my store that are both listed at over $300. I've done well with the small ones too. If I see small ones on auction that are marked and people really like the wizard ones, the dragons that have crystals, if you can get them for $1, they'll sell for like 15. They're not high dollar like the bigger pewter sculptures though can be really big money. And mine just, like I said, I sold one not long ago for hundreds of dollars. How do I source my jewelry online auction? The answer to that is yes. And don't ask me which one because I am not sharing that information. I've decided I do not need to share my whole life with everybody and am
That's
withholding a little bit of information. But I do use multiple auctions. High-bid is one. I don't hide that I'm on High-bid all the time. High-bid is one of them, but I use about 5 of them. So I spend hours finding the jewelry, hours and hours. We're not going to get to all the questions because I have 21 still starred and we have 9 minutes. So we are definitely not getting to everything. Next, Tammy wants to know, how did each of us get into reselling?
I like that question because my wife hates it. My wife hates reselling, but where it started was from my wife when I was having trouble looking for a job when we moved here from Hawaii to Las Vegas. She had started nursing, which is what Kat was doing. And she said her coworkers were into reselling. I had no idea what reselling was. And she said, you got to go to thrift stores, find stuff, and resell it online. I said, what's a thrift store? She said, places like Goodwill. I said, what's Goodwill? Happened to be right across the street. And lo and behold, we walked in there. I found an item it's what I think one of my first videos, a little rust strobe for less than $1, sold for around 20 something dollars within a few days. And the light bulb went on, the only light bulb in this little noggin. And I've been doing it ever since. But I've also been collecting stuff and I'm almost like a hoarder, but I'm working on it. I'm a work in progress. But that's where I started. And that's where I'm going to remain for the rest of my life.
I started on my personal Facebook page. I was going thrifting as just a habit every Thursday night. And I would share with everybody the things that I was finding on Thursday nights. I would take photos of everything. And I started to have people say, oh, can I buy that from you? And then I started to go in with a different mentality. Like, I'm leaving so many cool things behind. Maybe I can sell them. And then I started a website and started loading stuff and got, everybody, made an announcement to everybody that this was happening. But I sell more now. I kind of got to a point in my career where I was fed up and I just walked away. So like that step into reselling in a bigger way with eBay and everything occurred because I just got tired of the 9 to 5 in the crappy corporate world. So
yeah, like I'm pretty new to this, 3 years now, maybe 4. And basically it was my girlfriend at the time, now my wife, drug me to Goodwill's over and over again. And she'd be like, you can make money. And I'm like, you're a liar. I'm going to sit on this sofa and play on my phone. And finally it all started with the teapot. So found a teapot, shipped it, made $25. I was the police. I was making 20 an hour. I just made 25 on this teapot. And I was thinking, wow, that was a lot easier and a lot less headache. So that continued only for 6 months. And, I should have just quit my job 6 months later. And I was like, see you guys. I got my canine. He retired. So he was done. I was done. So we both retired, or not really retired. He retired. I quit. And that's how it all started. And I started YouTube, I think 6 months or 8 months later. And
Good for you.
the rest is
Awesome.
history. Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I grew up with a brother who was like a junker and sold at the flea market, and he would buy like U-Hauls full of junk. And so I grew up around that, and I really liked it. Like, so I started like, I grew up around it. I love the hustle. Started selling candy in middle school. I'd go to Sam's, buy a big jug, resell it for 20 cents a piece when I paid $2. I have been a reseller my whole life. I'm a hustler. Like, I always have something going on. It was funny when I was a nurse, they're like, what are you doing now? Because I used to raise chickens. I would hatch 100 chickens a week and sell the chickens. And I sold the eggs online. I did plants for a while. I always had a side hustle. Like through the 11 years of nursing, they're like, what are you doing now? This one has stuck. I've resold on eBay off and on since 99. But this is the longest that I have done it because I get bored very easy. So that's why I sell so many categories. And that's why you see me like flip flop, go from picking up scarves to jewelry and then kachinas and who knows what'll be. I don't know what'll be next, but that way I don't get bored with it. So I'm learning about new stuff, picking up new stuff all the time, and I'm not getting bored. I get bored very easily, and I do nothing little. I do everything big. Like I couldn't hatch 10 chickens a week. I had to hatch 100. Like I have 6,000 items in my store, not 600 like a lot of normal people might. I go big or go home, and that is just me. Miss Lisa wants to know, what is a membership that Mr. Moore just gave us? So Lisa won one of the memberships John got. So I will real quick cover my memberships. So John is giving away the $1.99 membership. And what that entails is once a month, which will be this Thursday, I go in and everybody who asked, I've never not been able to do every person who has asked me in the members. I review your eBay store. I'll look at your pictures. I'll look at your titles. I'll look at your shipping, and I'll tell you what I think would improve. Some people, and it's really funny, that have been in the membership a long time, that have followed me a long time, I'm like, yeah, I got nothing for you. It looks great. They've just made the changes over the years of being in my membership. And I think they just want they want to hear me say that. So you can put your name in. If you go to my community tab, you can put your name in. I'll review your store on eBay or your listings. You don't have to have a store, or Poshmark, Mercari, whatever you're on. I can look at your listings. And then I do one for $9.99, which is my favorite because I source for you. I use your zip code. I do it every other Saturday. The next one's not till December 3rd, though, because I'll be out of town for my birthday. And I go shopping for you. I put in your zip code, look through your auctions, tell you what I would buy. That one, you can only do it once a month. I've had to limit it as it's grown. I used to let you do it every other week. Now it's just once a month. And then for $19.99, I gave a complete sneak preview on accident a week ago, much to my husband's displeasure, and made my shipping live public, where you see him, and he is not in any of my videos. You see him, you see Dalton a lot of times. It's every other Monday. That one's $19.99, and you get all of the other stuff, plus live shipping every other Monday, which is normally just a few people in there, so you can ask whatever questions you want. You get to see my husband actually exists and helps me pack, and you get to see Dalton. So those are my 3 tiers on what I given them. Miss Pat. And then we will do one more. Miss Pat said, is it necessary to promote each item on eBay to get them to sell? Nothing on 3 sites is selling since summer. And is it better to have an eBay store?
So I didn't start an eBay store until about 2 years ago. And during that time, I was a part-time reseller, and I've been reselling since 2016. And not until recently, I started promoting items, but not every item. Only items that I feel, and I used to not think this way at first. I used to promote items that were there for about a week. Now I promote items that are even more expensive than some items to get them to the people that I know are going to make more money for an item in less time. But I don't promote a lot of items, and I don't feel the need to. And it all depends on what the item is, because we all have different things that we source for.
Yeah, I'm the same way. It's strategic. I will put some money behind some things that it really depends on how many are out there, what I've set the price at. But there are other things, because as I mentioned earlier, I really go by sell-through rates. So if there's something that I know is going to sell quickly, I'm not going to put any money behind it. I'm just going to throw it up and it's going to sell. So I mean, I think you just have to look at everything individually and decide. But if you do promote it, I don't think you have to promote it by too much. I mean, the stuff that I promote, I think I do like 2%, 3%. I've heard Kat say she throws like 10% at it or whatever, maybe the suggested percentages. But I've never done that. I always stick to like a low percentage.
Yeah, I would say that I promote stuff after a certain amount of time, but a lot of things I don't promote if I know they're going to sell, and that usually comes with like high-end golf clubs, just because I got a couple Scotty Camerons or a couple high-end pings or something. They're going to sell no matter what. Somebody's going to look for the ping G20 10-degree stiff flex golf club. That's out there. Whenever it will sell, like no problem. So, but like other things in categories like clothing, we promote all of our clothing because there's so much out there. And unless it's something rare, obviously, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just regular clothing. So it really goes by us for category. But I don't think you necessarily need to promote to sell something, because I know my Scotty Cameron and my pings are going to sell unpromoted all day long. I only have
so I'm OCD. People that watch me know this. I don't like to see you have X amount of items to promote, so I promote everything. I also have best offer on everything for the same reason. Like, I don't want to see check boxes. I think that's a nursing thing. Like, I don't like to see that. I promote high because I buy low. I buy so low. I buy a ton of stuff at $1. I am okay paying an extra percent. It does get me more sales. If you're not buying really low, it could be dangerous and could put you where you're not making barely any money. So be careful with promoting if you're not buying very low. If you buy like me, where a lot of stuff is $1, then it is a good thing. So I promote at trending +3 and I cap out at 12%. So like my jewelry and oversaturated categories are at 12%, but some of it's only at 2%. A lot of it's really low. If nothing is selling since summer, I would say either it's the items you're listing, possibly pictures, titles. As far as like, is it better to have an eBay store? Only if you're paying fees for insertion fees. If you're doing your 250 free, it's not really advantageous. But I would look at either your items, your prices. I had a member, it was all her shipping. We just needed to fix her shipping. She was overcharging for shipping. We fixed it and her sales started rolling in. So it really could be something as simple as that. I see you're a member. Put your store down. I'll look at your store on Thursday. You're a member. Put a link. It doesn't have to be a store. I just naturally say store. You don't have to have a store. Link one of your listings in the community feed and I'll look at it Thursday. If you can't be there, you can watch it back. Okay, first I'm going to answer Scott. How do you ship eggs? You wrap them in bubble wrap and styrofoam and you put them in a box. I shipped so many eggs and I was selling eggs for $100 a dozen from really rare chickens.
We all had our different answers though on how to ship eggs.
Yeah.
So that is how I shipped eggs. Like real eggs, and they would hatch them. I want to ask in the chat, because there are 23 questions still remaining. Would you guys be interested if, and I don't know every week, if I did a video, since I've figured out how to star them, answering the questions, at least just myself and maybe with another person, where we could go on StreamYard, record it, answer our question. Tell me in the chat now, would you be interested in me doing a video answering those other 23 questions we didn't get to, maybe like once a month or something? tell me if you guys would be interested in that, because we have a lot of questions still there. There are a lot, and there are some good ones. Yay! Okay, so this is not a question. It is a question, but I'm gonna put it along with this. So Shan joined the membership. This was one I starred. AGO Modern said, "Why did I find those dolphins annoying? And now I watch the live just to see the dolphins." So I thought that went well with this, because I'm going to give a dolphin to Shan, and then I will let Sonny and Amy tell you guys bye, tell you what they have going on. Julian will let you know, as well as myself, and then we will get out of here. So Miss Shan, here is your dolphin that they all of a sudden like now.
Welcome to the flipping family.
All right, there are a ton of questions. Okay, everybody's saying yes, 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 yes. Okay, so maybe I can find like one other person. Sonny's saying yes too. So maybe like I could find one other person and we can go through these questions. And yes, 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 yes.
Yeah, so many.
You know what I mean? Where you get more than just me. You know, you get at least two of us, and we go through the answers and do leftover questions from the show. I'm hoping they still stay here. I'm going to try and copy them all. I don't know if I can do that, but I'm going to try. So let me make Sonny big and tell you, Sonny has a lot going on. Sonny has more than me going on, I think. So here is Sonny.
Ladies and gents, I am SonnyLasVegas. I'm a reseller, as you've been hearing on here. I love to sell apparel, but I am opening up to hard goods and electronics. Myself and Mikey Bags of Money are going to step into something that's very new for us. And this should have probably been answered towards the question from Jeremy earlier. Other things other than eBay adventures. We're going to have our own boutique called the Reseller Cartel boutique, brick and mortar section inside the Good Stuff thrift store. If you know Danny, the niche lady, she's been working on this for some time, worked her dream into fruition and asked us to join. So I'm really excited about that. I do a live as well every Thursday. And my new short-term goal is reaching 8,000 subscribers. I'm at 7,300 and something. So if you get all over there too, make sure to follow me as well. But thank you all for joining us. This was a really great live, and it's good to see that there's more of you joining and learning from us as we are learning from you as well.
Perfect. Here is Miss Amy.
Thanks so much, Kat, for having me. I have a channel on YouTube that I do 2 videos a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Usually take you shopping or show some sort of haul. I also do 1 sale a month, last Tuesday of the month, which I think we're changing to the last Thursday of the month. But I always announce it before it's coming. I also do an unlive sale, which is basically auction style, where I record it and then I let people just give me offers in the comment section, which is a kind of a unique thing. That usually happens mid-month, which would be this week. But this week I had this going on, my 2 videos, and I'm also going to be live on Yvonne Thrifty Rich, her channel, on Thursday at, I believe it's 5 p.m. my time Eastern. So if you're around, check us out there. But thank you so much. Also go, check out my channel if you haven't subscribed, if you don't know me. I appreciate it.
Yay.
Yay.
All right. So it did let me copy all of the questions. So I copied them into a Word document. So step 1 is done. Step 1 is done. So Julian, what's going on besides every other day in your secret cat you let out of the bag?
Yeah, that, and also we worked with a couple companies recently, and we're gonna have some pretty good giveaways on the channel in December. Stuff that's like it's good stuff. So if you haven't subscribed, or if you want to go, just go watch in December. It will behoove you to be there for a couple. We don't know if we're gonna drop every day in December, but we're going to do a little bit more content because these giveaways I want to give almost like immediately before the Christmas holiday. So it's going to be good stuff that resellers can use. If you're not a reseller, you could just, I don't know what you would do with it. Actually, it's basically all reseller stuff. So
I wonder if it's the one that contacted me that I told you.
We worked with him last year too.
Who was it? Can you? I'm just joking.
No, you gotta go to the channel, Sonny.
You gotta go to the channel, Sonny.
Gotta go to the channel.
So I tomorrow will have my live whatnot at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I start most stuff at $2. I start sterling at $5. So follow me on whatnot. A lot of people have trouble searching. So if you hit the magnifying glass, you have to click on user to find a user. Like if you just hit the search and type it, it will not find the person. You have to click user. It took me a while to figure that out because I couldn't find people either. Richard, thank you. Richard just dropped the link. If you're not already on whatnot, you do get $15 free if you use my link. So that doesn't cover the shipping, but you could come buy a couple of things, pay $5 in shipping and get the $15 free. Friday to Sunday, I will be at Renninger's not with George, but probably a lot of the time with George the Antique Nomad. I just texted with him yesterday. His booth number, if you want to write it down, is 4079. I also will be there with Mark, OG, and Z. He will be with me probably all day, at least one day. I don't know if he's going to be able to make it more than one. So you can meet Mark as well. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, message me, Instagram, Facebook. I will try to watch he's Friday. Okay, Mark will be there Friday. So message me. I'm going to try my hardest to watch my phone. I'm going to try my hardest to watch my phone. Last year when I was there, I didn't look and I saw messages hours later. So I'm really going to try because I'm like, look, there's so much stuff. My phone didn't come out of my pocket. And then Saturday I'll have a catch treasure hunting with another follow-up, more garage sales with Dalton. So if you like the Dalton videos, he will be in Saturday's video. Yes, yay for I have missed George. So George is a snowbird. George stays up in Kentucky and the West Coast, but he comes to Florida in the winter. So I am so happy that George will, because he does estate sales and I can drive to them and I can go see George twice a month. So I get spoiled and then he leaves and I'm like, wait, where? And George is one of my favorite people. So next week, speaking of George, next week, George the Antique Nomad will be co-hosting. I think, Julian, you're gone. Is that right? Or did I just fire you?
No, I think you're correct.
Okay. Yeah. Julian said he wasn't going to be here. So George the Antique Nomad will be my co-host next week. And we will have Kaylee Elaine on. And she has never been on before. You guys asked for some new people. I'm trying to get you some new people. Kaylee Elaine. And guess who else? Scott, Mr. Cha-Ching King.
Never heard of him.
None other. So Scott, George, and Kaylee Elaine next week. And Julian is gone for 2 weeks. Wait, 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Julian will be gone the next 3 weeks. I'm not firing him. He's leaving. Not leaving permanently. He'll be back in 3 weeks.
Resigning, you didn't fire him?
3 weeks, Julian will be... They're booing you. So 3 weeks, Julian will be gone. We will have some great co-hosts lined up. Scott says we will love Kaylee Elaine. Bradford, I gave up on Kevin years ago. I love him, but I gave up on him coming on. To be honest. Oh, Marcia Red Cardinal Treasures will be there on Friday too. So yeah, thank you guys all. I appreciate it. Check out everybody's channel if you haven't. We will see you next Tuesday, every Tuesday at 8. And I will see you tomorrow on Whatnot. Thank you all for coming. We will see you next week. Bye for now.